Get ready because the Cleveland Browns organization has just been rocked by an internal explosion so massive the shockwaves are being felt across the entire NFL. We are not talking about a bad play or a tough loss. We are talking about a full-blown rebellion, a declaration of war from inside the locker room aimed directly at the head coach. Star wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, a man known for his quiet professionalism, just broke his silence in the most spectacular way possible, dropping a nuclear bomb on the chaos surrounding the team's quarterback situation. In a move that has sent the sports world into a frenzy, Jeudy threw his full, unwavering support behind the rookie phenom Shedeur Sanders, and in doing so, he put his own head coach Kevin Stefanski on blast for the entire world to see. Jeudy didn't just hint at his frustration. He grabbed a megaphone and screamed it from the mountaintops, making it crystal clear that he is confused, bewildered, and fed up with why the Browns keep hesitating, keep stalling, keep playing games with Shedeur's role as the team's rightful leader. With the season already hanging by a thread and a long-suffering fan base on the absolute edge of revolt, Stefanski's baffling refusal to lock Shedeur Sanders in as the undisputed quarterback of the future has now officially ignited a 5-alarm fire within the franchise. This isn't just a simple disagreement anymore. This is a star player publicly challenging the judgment of his coach on the most critical position in all of sports. This is a story of loyalty, betrayal, and a power struggle so intense it threatens to tear the Cleveland Browns apart from the inside out. If you thought the drama in Cleveland had peaked, you haven't seen anything yet. Buckle up because we're about to dive headfirst into the heart of a franchise in full-blown crisis mode. Jerry Jeudy, a man who typically lets his crisp route running do the talking, decided that enough was enough. He stepped up to the microphone, looked the media dead in the eye, and essentially drew a line in the sand. When asked about the quarterback situation, a topic that has become the third rail in Cleveland, he didn't give the usual canned, robotic, media-trained response. Instead, he spoke from the heart, and his words were a direct shot across the bow of the coaching staff. He talked about the trust he has in the quarterbacks, but he made a special point to single out the men who have been there from the very beginning, grinding through the dog days of summer. He said, Shedeur and Bailey have some, I got a lot of trust with those guys. Them guys been here since OTAS and since minicamp. They've been doing their thing. The subtext was as subtle as a sledgehammer. He was reminding everyone, especially the man in charge, that Shedeur Sanders isn't some newcomer who just showed up. He's been putting in the work, sweating, bleeding, and building chemistry with his teammates since day one. But Jeudy didn't stop there. He wasn't finished. He doubled down, making sure that every single person listening, from the front office to the fans in the cheap seats, understood just how vital Shedeur Sanders has been to this team since the moment he walked through the door. Jeudy explained that Shedeur, along with Dillon Gabriel, has been completely locked in since the earliest offseason activities, showing up before the sun rises, grinding harder than anyone, and setting the tone for the entire locker room. He painted a picture of a young man who isn't just relying on his famous last name or his raw talent. He's earning his stripes the old-fashioned way through sheer unadulterated hard work. Jeudy made it crystal clear that Shedeur's respect within that locker room isn't given. It has been earned. He's proven to his teammates, the men who go to battle with him every Sunday, that he can be trusted when the game is on the line and the pressure is real enough to crush diamonds. Jeudy spoke with the conviction of a man who has seen it with his own two eyes. He said that when that moment finally comes, when the keys to the franchise are finally handed to Shedeur, he is going to show the world exactly why he deserves that starting spot. Jeudy is convinced that Shedeur has the full package: the generational talent, the obsessive drive, and the natural-born leadership to carry the Cleveland Browns forward into a new era of winning. The drama escalated when veteran reporter Mary Kay Cabot pressed Jeudy about Shedeur's own confident comments, his public declaration that he feels ready to play. In a league where young players are often expected to be seen and not heard, this was a moment that could have gone sideways. A lesser teammate might have dodged the question or given a generic answer, but Jerry Jeudy didn't even flinch. He backed his quarterback all the way without a moment's hesitation. Instead of throwing even a hint of shade, he masterfully turned the question into a moment of high praise. A testament to Shedeur's character. He told the world that Shedeur's confidence isn't arrogance, it's earned. he'd been doing a good job, just understanding the plays, Judy explained. Doing whatever the coach asked for him, and he'd been doing a great job of just, being a pro and, doing what he need to do to be able to, once he get his chance, to take advantage of that. In other words, Shedeur has been studying the playbook relentlessly, learning every intricate detail and mastering every single snap like a true professional. He's done everything the coaches have demanded of him, and then he's done more. That's precisely why Jerry Jeudy sees nothing wrong with Shedeur saying he's ready, because when a player works like that, when he prepares with that level of obsession, he has earned the right to speak with confidence. He has earned the right to believe in himself, even if his own head coach seems to be the last person to get the memo. But if you think Jerry Jeudy is some lone wolf, a solo voice crying out in the wilderness, you are sorely mistaken, because the rebellion is growing. Jerry Jeudy isn't the only one speaking up for Shedeur Sanders. The undisputed king of Cleveland, the heart and soul of the franchise, Myles Garrett, is right there beside him, backing him up. And his words carry the weight of a franchise on his shoulders. The Browns' defensive leader, a man who strikes fear into the hearts of opponents, gave major significant props to the young quarterback for his incredible focus and his relentless grind. Garrett, a man who knows a thing or two about what it takes to be great in the NFL, pointed out how Shedeur's commitment to his craft goes way beyond what is normal, even for a professional athlete. He described Shedeur as that guy who shows up to the team facility before the sunrise when the building is still dark and quiet, and he's one of the last to leave long after everyone else has called it a day and gone home to their families. And the work doesn't stop there. Garrett revealed that Shedeur even pulls up to the coach's offices on his own time, unprompted, asking what more he can do, what extra film he can study, what tiny detail he can master to level up his game and separate himself from the rest of the pack. When asked what has impressed him most about the rookie, Garrett didn't hesitate. The time he takes, showing up early, Garrett said, his voice filled with genuine respect. Coach's office is easily seen when you walk in the building, and, almost every morning you see him in there, talking through plays, talking through schemes with coach, making sure he's ready for this moment when he gets called. Myles Garrett didn't just give a quick throwaway shout out, he made it abundantly clear that he truly deeply respects Shedeur Sanders for his grind, his heart, and his professionalism. Garrett said that Sanders has earned every single ounce of respect he gets through pure unadulterated effort and laser-like focus, proving to the veterans in the room that he is built for the immense pressure of being an NFL quarterback. He praised Shedeur's maturity, saying it's incredibly rare to see a young player, especially one with his level of fame and hype, handle the pressure and the sky-high expectations with that kind of calm, quiet confidence. According to Myles Garrett, the defensive captain and the face of the franchise, Shedeur's entire approach to the game shows a level of discipline and commitment that deserves to be celebrated, rewarded, and unleashed, not ignored, not downplayed, and certainly not stuck on the sideline holding a clipboard. When the best player on your team is telling you publicly that the rookie quarterback is the real deal, you listen, unless apparently your name is Kevin Stefanski. Because even with all this love, all this praise, all this public support from the most important leaders in his locker room, head coach Kevin Stefanski still inexplicably refuses to hand Shedeur the reins. Stefanski continues to act like playing Shedeur is some kind of monumental risk, like he's handling a delicate piece of glass instead of a finely tuned weapon of war. He keeps trying to convince everyone and perhaps himself that he has things under control, that there is a plan in place. But the locker room can see the hesitation, the fans can see the indecision, the entire league can see the baffling inconsistency. Week after week, his decisions seem to be more about playing it safe, about avoiding blame, than they are about letting his most dynamic talent shine. He keeps bringing up Shedeur's age like it's a debilitating problem, repeatedly saying he's too young to handle the pressure of the NFL. Yet, in a move of stunning hypocrisy, he is simultaneously handing meaningful reps, meaningful opportunities to other young players like rookie running back Quinton Judkins, a player who didn't even get the benefit of a full training camp under his belt. And that's what has people from the fans to the players scratching their heads in utter confusion. If Judkins, with less preparation time, can be trusted and get a shot despite the odds, why on God's green earth shouldn't Shedeur Sanders, the man who has been acing every test since May, play, be trusted to do the same. The logic simply does not add up, and the excuses are wearing dangerously thin. Stefanski's public statements on the matter are a masterclass in deflection. I always have to be mindful of our players and our players' development, he said, trying to sound thoughtful and deliberate. And you know, I want to make sure that I'm always doing what's best for our players and of course our team. But the question echoing through the city of Cleveland is, how is benching your most talented quarterback against the wishes of your team leaders possibly what's best for the team? The frustration is no longer contained within the walls of Cleveland. The national media has caught the scent of blood in the water, and they are circling. ESPN analyst Dan Orlovsky, a man who knows the quarterback position intimately, didn't hold back for a single second. He came straight at Kevin Stefanski and the entire Browns front office with righteous fire. He said it's flat out unequivocally disappointing that Shedeur Sanders hasn't even been officially named the QB2 yet, especially when there is zero real competition for that spot on the roster. Orlovsky, his voice rising with indignation, questioned what the Browns are even doing, demanding answers directly from ownership about the so-called grand plan they hyped up so much before the season began. That plan, as it was sold to the fans, was supposed to give both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders a fair and equal shot to prove themselves to compete for the role as the team's quarterback of the future. But now it looks like management has completely lost the plot. If it's not Shedeur, I do think it's disappointing, Orlovsky declared. I do think it's a question of why not. What is we've gone through this? Okay, Gabriel, if it's not Shedeur, because we know it's very much so pointing to the future in Cleveland, what's going on that Shedeur hasn't done enough, or shown enough, or displayed himself enough to be the backup quarterback in a season where we all know it's only about any of those? Orlovsky called them out for their confusing, inconsistent, and frankly amateur-ish decisions, saying the team's direction feels like it's being made up on the fly, a chaotic mess of conflicting ideas and broken promises. The pressure cooker in Cleveland is boiling over as the Shedeur Sanders situation has now officially reached a breaking point. The fans and the national analysts are getting louder by the day, their voices joining in a deafening chorus demanding that Kevin Stefanski stop stalling, stop making excuses, and finally make a move. Those who are backing Shedeur aren't asking for any kind of special treatment. They don't want him handed the job because of his last name. They simply want to see his undeniable game-changing talent unleashed. But if Stefanski keeps him glued to the sidelines, if he continues this bizarre charade, that failure won't fall on Shedeur Sanders. It will land squarely heavily on the shoulders of the Cleveland Browns organization for holding back a player who has done everything right, who has checked every single box, and who has earned his shot 10 times over. The frustration is growing at an exponential rate, and the clock is ticking loudly in the background. If the Browns keep dragging their feet, if they keep mismanaging this situation, they will be blamed, and rightfully so, for stunting Shedeur's career before it even has a chance to take off. This quarterback controversy has now become the absolute center of attention in Cleveland, with both fans and analysts laser focused on how the team handles this delicate and explosive situation, even with the powerful vocal support from superstars like Jerry Jeudy and Myles Garrett, who have gone out on a limb to praise Sanders for his maturity, his drive, and his relentless work ethic. Stefanski still refuses to pull the trigger and give him that coveted QB1 shot. His hesitation is raising more than just eyebrows around the league. It's raising serious questions about his judgment and his ability to lead. Shedeur has done everything that has been asked of him and more. He shows up early, he stays late, he studies film with an obsessive passion, and in the limited action he's seen, he plays like a guy who was born to lead men. He has earned his teammates' trust and the fans' respect. Yet Kevin Stefanski keeps hiding behind flimsy, contradictory excuses about youth and experience. Meanwhile, players like Quinton Judkins, who barely had time to learn the playbook, let alone prepare for an NFL game, are already getting their opportunities to shine. That's where things start to look really shaky for the head coach. That's where the narrative shifts from cautious development to stubborn malpractice. If the Browns can take calculated risks on other young players, why not on the one quarterback on their roster who has already proven to everyone with eyes that he is ready for the moment? The tension in the city is building fast, and you can feel it in the air. The fans want action, not another mind-numbing press conference full of the same tired excuses. The pressure on Kevin Stefanski is now sky high. and everyone in the league knows it. Because if this drags on any longer, it won't just affect Shedeur's growth as a player, it could completely wreck the team's delicate chemistry, poison the locker room, and jeopardize the entire future of the franchise. At this point, the Browns organization needs to look in the mirror and decide if they are serious about progress and winning, or if they are content with wasting generational potential out of fear or pride. Shedeur Sanders has done his part. He has done more than his part. It is time for the franchise to do theirs. If they keep him benched, they risk losing more than just a talented young quarterback. They risk losing their credibility as a team that claims to believe in player development and meritocracy. They risk sending a message to the rest of the league that in Cleveland, politics and favoritism matter more than talent and hard work. The ball is now officially squarely in Kevin Stefanski's court. The entire NFL is watching. The city of Cleveland is holding its breath, and how he plays this next moment, how he handles this rebellion from within his own ranks could very well shape the future of the Cleveland Browns for years to come. And just to add another layer of high-stakes drama to this already combustible situation, rumors have begun to swirl that other teams, most notably the Las Vegas Raiders, are monitoring the situation in Cleveland with great interest. Could Shedeur's future be shifting sooner than anyone expects? Could the Browns' incompetence lead to them losing their future franchise quarterback before he ever gets a real chance to play? The thought is enough to send a shiver down the spine of any Browns fan. Let's really unpack this, because what Jerry Jeudy did, what Myles Garrett backed up, this is not a small crack in the dam. This is the dam bursting. Let's start with Jeudy. We have to understand the significance of who is speaking. This isn't a guy who's always in the media, not a guy who's known for stirring the pot. Jerry Jeudy is a technician. He's a professional's professional. He's known for his route running, not his sound bites. So when he goes to the podium and says what he said, it is a calculated, deliberate move. This is a flare being shot up from a sinking ship. He's not just supporting his guy. He is publicly contradicting his head coach. He is publicly questioning the front office's entire strategy. That line, been here since OTAs and since minicamp, that's the dagger. That's not a throwaway comment. That is a direct message to Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Barry. That message is, we, the players, the guys in this locker room, we have seen the entire process. We were here in May, we were here in June, we saw the competition from day one, and we have come to a conclusion. Our conclusion is that Shedeur Sanders is the guy. Your conclusion, coach, seems to be based on something else, and we don't understand it. This is a star wide receiver, a man who relies on the quarterback for his livelihood, for his stats, for his next contract, basically screaming at the top of his lungs, I can't do my job at the level I want to, at the level this team needs me to, if you keep the best player on the sideline. This is a plea. This is a demand. He is putting his own neck on the line, challenging the chain of command because the situation has become that dire. He's not just stumping for a friend. He's stumping for the offense. He's stumping for the team. He sees the potential. He's seen the throws in practice. He's felt the confidence, the it factor that Shedeur brings into the huddle, and he is watching his head coach actively ignore it. The bewilderment in his voice, the frustration, it's palpable. He's essentially asking, what are we doing here? What game are we playing? And by backing Shedeur's own confidence, saying he's earned the right to say he's ready, Jeudy is co-signing the entire movement. He's saying he's not arrogant, he's right, he is ready, and we are ready for him. And then you add Myles Garrett. If Jerry Jeudy's comments were a grenade, Myles Garrett's are an airstrike. This is the king. This is the face of the Cleveland Browns. This is the reigning defensive player of the year. This is the man who sets the entire tone for the organization. His words are not just words. They are gospel. When Myles Garrett speaks, everyone in that building, from the owner down to the practice squad, listens. And what did he say? He didn't just give a generic, yeah, he's a good kid, works hard. He painted a picture. He gave a testament. He talked about Shedeur showing up before the sunrise. Think about the symbolism of that. In the dark, in the quiet, while the coaches are maybe still in bed, while the city is still asleep, the man who should be the leader is already at work. He's in the coaches' offices, not because he was told to be, but because he wants to be. He's demanding more film. He's demanding to know the why behind the schemes. Myles Garrett is the defensive captain. He has no obligation to go this hard for a rookie quarterback on the other side of the ball, but he did. Why? Because leaders recognize leaders. Real recognizes real. Myles Garrett sees in Shedeur Sanders the exact same obsessive, psychotic work ethic that made him the best defensive player on the planet. He sees a kindred spirit, and he is disgusted that this level of commitment is being rewarded with a baseball cap and a clipboard. Garrett is essentially anointing Shedeur Sanders as the true leader of the team, the leader in waiting, the shadow captain. And in doing so, he is completely undermining Kevin Stefanski's authority. He's creating a house divided. The defense, led by its king, is now publicly backing a rookie quarterback against their own offensive-minded head coach. This is a full-blown crisis of leadership. Stefanski has lost, if not the entire locker room, then at the very least the respect of its most important pillars. Garrett's endorsement is a message. This is our guy. We've chosen him. Your move, Kevin. And Stefanski's refusal to make that move is looking more and more like an act of stubborn pride, not professional coaching. Now, let's get to the core of the rot, the Kevin Stefanski hypocrisy. This is what makes no sense. This is what is driving the fans, the media, and clearly the players absolutely insane. The only excuse we've heard is that Shedeur is too young. He needs to be developed. We have to be mindful of his development. What year is this? Is this 1995? Is Kevin Stefanski coaching like it's 1995? Did he not watch CJ Stroud last year? Did he not see a rookie quarterback come into the league and have arguably the single greatest rookie quarterback season in the history of the National Football League? Did he not see Anthony Richardson before he got hurt electrify a franchise? Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. The entire league has shifted. The college game and the pro game have never been more similar. Young quarterbacks are designed to come in and play right away. And Stefanski's system, his system is built for a young quarterback. A heavy run game, play action, simplified reads. It is the perfect environment to groom a rookie. So the he's too young excuse isn't just a weak excuse, it's an obsolete one. It's a transparently false narrative. But it gets so much worse. The hypocrisy becomes blinding when you look at Quinshon Judkins. I like Judkins. Great college back, lot of potential, but he was a late signee. He didn't have the benefit of OTAs. He didn't have a full training camp. He barely had time to learn the playbook, learn the protections, learn the language of the offense. And yet, Kevin Stefanski felt comfortable. No, eager to throw him into the fire, to give him meaningful reps, meaningful carries in real NFL games. So let's get this straight. You can trust a rookie running back who has to understand complex blocking schemes, identify blitzes for pass protection, and hit the right hole in a split second with less preparation time. But you cannot trust the rookie quarterback, the one Myles Garrett says is in the building before the sun, the one Jerry Jeudy says has been grinding since May, the one who has had months to learn this very system. Make it make sense. You can't. It is intellectually dishonest. It is illogical. It's a contradiction so glaring that it calls everything into question. What is the real reason? It's clearly not age. It's clearly not readiness, because your other actions prove you're willing to play unready rookies. So what is it? Is it that Stefanski has a personal preference for Dillon Gabriel? Is it that he's afraid? Is he afraid that if he plays Shedeur, and Shedeur is great, it proves how wrong he's been all along? Or is he afraid that if Shedeur fails, it's his fault? Is this just risk aversion? Is he coaching scared? Is he coaching to protect his job instead of coaching to win? That quote, I want to make sure that I'm always doing what's best for our players and of course our team. Is he? Is he really? Or is he doing what's best for Kevin Stefanski? Because the players, the leaders on his team are screaming that what he's doing is the opposite of what's best for the team. They are telling him he is making a catastrophic mistake. This is where the national media, like Dan Orlovsky, comes in, and they are 100% correct. Orlovsky called it disappointing. That's a nice, polite, TV-friendly word for it. Let's call it what it is. It's organizational malpractice. It is a gross failure of the one fundamental job a coaching staff has. Identify your best players and put them on the field to give you the best chance to win. The Browns sold the fans. They sold the media. On this grand plan, they had this QB of the future competition. It was going to be America. meritocracy. Gabriel and Sanders would battle it out, and the best man would win. Well, the competition happened. It happened in OTAS. It happened in minicamp. It happened in training camp. And the players, the guys who were there, they saw the results. Jerry Jeudy saw it. Myles Garrett saw it. They are telling you publicly who won that competition. They are telling you who the best man is. And the coach, the man in charge, is ignoring the results. He is ignoring the meritocracy. That is a betrayal of the very process he sold to his own fan base. Orlovsky is right to ask, what's going on? If Shedeur isn't at least the locked-in QB2, what did he not do? What has Dillon Gabriel done to so definitively win this competition that the coach is willing to create a locker room mutiny over it? We haven't seen it, the fans haven't seen it, and his teammates clearly haven't seen it. This isn't just a local story anymore. This is a national embarrassment. This is the Cleveland Browns, again, being the factory of sadness. But this time, it's not because of bad luck. It's not because of a bad bounce. It's because of a stunning, self-inflicted, ego-driven failure of leadership. The entire league is looking at this and shaking their heads. They're seeing a coach who is either in way over his head or is so stubborn that he's willing to light his own franchise on fire rather than admit he might be wrong, or rather than just give the kid a shot. What's the worst that happens if you play him? He struggles, okay, he's a rookie. It happens. You coach him up, but the risk, the real risk, isn't playing him. The real risk is what Stefanski is doing right now. He is risking the entire locker room. He is risking the respect of his captains. He's risking a civil war. He's risking the future of the franchise. And that brings us to the final terrifying part of this. The Las Vegas Raiders. The rumors that they're monitoring the situation. Let's be very clear about what that means. That's not just a reporter throwing something at the wall. Monitoring means agents are talking. It means other general managers smell blood in the water. They see a dysfunctional organization that is actively alienating a potential superstar. And they are lining up. They are preparing their trade offers. This is how you lose a franchise player before he ever even becomes a franchise player. This is the Cleveland special. How many times have we seen this movie? A player with immense talent comes to Cleveland. The organization completely mismanages them. They're alienated. They're frustrated. And they either force their way out or they leave the second their rookie deal is up and they go on to become an all-pro somewhere else. Do you think Shedeur Sanders, and more importantly his camp, his agent, his father, do you think they're just sitting back and saying, oh, this is fine, it's all part of the process? Absolutely not. They are taking notes. They are keeping receipts every single day that Shedeur sits on that bench while his teammates are publicly begging for him to play. That's another check mark in the "they don't respect my client" column. That's another log on the "we are out of here at the first possible opportunity" fire. This isn't just about this season anymore.